I'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll calls.
Trustee Polly,
Excused.
trustee Lappin,
Here, way over here.
clerk Palovich here, treasurer Ellery Summers,
Here.
trustee Kroll,
Excused.
trustee Reiner,
Here.
supervisor Kozibowski.
Present.
Is it present or is it here? Yeah,
Well,
well, be consistent.
Aye.
Or I, yeah.
I'll say.
Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented, please?
So moved. Or
Any discussion? All those in favor of adopting the agenda as presented signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. This is the first opportunity for public comment. If there's anybody online with public comment, please raise your hand. Seeing none, if there's anybody in the audience with public comment, please approach the podium. Also seeing none, we'll move on to the purpose of the meeting. Item number 1 on the agenda are budget adjustments.
Abby and I worked on budget adjustments. And
come up with it.
what's in front of you?
Well, we did a little of this and a little of that. Are there any questions about the adjustments?
I thought the comprehensive plan, didn't we already have money set aside? for that?
No, this is the one that we talked about the last board meeting. We approved it, so that the comprehensive plan is the Eagle grant that Nathan applied for in 2022 or 3,
Okay.
and then it got delayed by the state. So when it came time for budgeting last year, I wasn't aware of it, but we had already accepted it, been approved, and they'd already started the work. So it was never budgeted for last year. So we've done it twice now where we've had to add it into the budget.
But the money was never received from the state, or it was, or just,
It's a reimbursement. So
Oh.
they do the work, we send in the bill, and then they reimburse
Okay.
us.
We'll get
for half
reimbursed.
of it,
okay,
right.
thank you.
It's just that was never budgeted for because I wasn't aware of it to do it.
I got you.
So now we're making budget adjustments to make
Okay.
up for that.
Why are our banking fees so much higher than we budgeted?
Do you want me to explain
Yes.
that one more?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay. Laura and I have been watching the bank accounts, so we've been moving money into the investment accounts. So that makes our gain on investments higher, but unfortunately, it does increase the bank service charges a little bit. But the net is we're making more money by having it in the investment
Oh,
than just sitting there to offset bank
We're
service
keeping the
charges.
minimum amount in our main account, only what we need, and everything else gets invested.
So that
So
we're
is it a wire transfer, or,
Just to online.
just a
transfer.
couple clicks.
and the bank charges us a fee for us doing our own
cushion.
transfer?
Well, that's just one of the fees they charge us. That we are
Oh,
charged
yeah.
very many different. Fees.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so that's only one of the fees.
That's the fee though, just for for having the account.
It's
And
the
having
monthly
minimum-
bank service
right.
charges,
They,
yeah.
they break it down. There's probably 8 different fees.
They're so nice to keep our money.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but we're making some money.
we're
so.
making some money, so
Yeah.
in the end, we're making more than we're paying in fees.
Well, any other discussion, questions, comments, concerns?
I'll make a motion to accept the budget adjustments as presented.
I'll second it.
Um,
Don't like to, but I will.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Clerk Palovich, yeah. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes,
Trustee Lamp.
I
Lappin.
I am. We have a new trustee.
tried to talk these way over there.
Forget.
On behalf of
Early
Mr.
mayor.
Lamp, I will say
I'm-
yes, and I'll also say
Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yes. Oh, it's our first meeting. It's okay.
That's
My
first of the
first
new
time.
year. Sorry about that.
Okay, item number 2 on the agenda, the fire department new hires. If you would like to approach the podium.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. It's my honor and privilege to say that we have some folks that we would like to hire for the replacements that we've lost currently. Right now, Lieutenant Stevens had resigned earlier in the month. Lieutenant Watterson has also resigned and finishing out his time in PTO. His actual last working shift will be 10 hours on Friday. And firefighter Meisner has submitted his letter of resignation for the 20th of January. His last duty day will be the 17th of January. So we need to try to fill those spots. We did a hiring process, received 3 applicants that we then interviewed. There were several others through the Indeed portal. However, most of them were ones either from out of state who I reached out to say, are you really interested in this position and moving to Michigan to take it? Or they had no experience whatsoever and did not intend to be firefighters. It was just going through a process that they have to go through. And it could have been for a class or a course. So I know I used to do that for recruits in our fire academy. They had to apply out to a position. So that was some of that, I'm sure. But we did get 3 that we did interview. All 3 interviewed very, very well. Myself, the clerk and the supervisor sat on those interviews. Most of them were scored very highly. The only downfall to each and every one of them is the experience portion of it. So as I've sent you each the application packets for each of these 3 individuals. One is a Dylan Romstat. Another is Emily Duffy. And a third is Wyatt Smith, who is on the department currently as paid on call. My recommendation is to hire Dylan Romstat and Wyatt Smith. The caveat with Wyatt Smith is he does not currently hold EMS license. He is in the EMT class that is going on currently that we are paying for. So if we were to offer him a conditional offer of employment with the contingency that he has to pass that EMT to be able to secure and keep his employment with the township in a full-time position, that's what I'm looking for. The biggest thing with Mr. Smith is that he is on the department. We are looking into any legal issues of that. And I think the supervisor can expound upon that. But what I want you to understand is if we were to hire him with this condition of securing that EMT license, that he would not be on his own, that he would be working with another current staff member until he meets that certification. And then by then he should be fully trained to then take on a shift on his own because he's already certified at the firefighter level here and signed off on, I believe 98 to almost 100% of everything that we require here to be a firefighter, to drive the trucks, operate the pumps, those types of things. So, any questions on my proposal or the candidates themselves? Go ahead.
So on Wyatt, I see that he's currently in the class.
Yes.
When did the class start and when does it end?
It started in November and it will end in April. So what I put in, I just did a quick draft of a contingent offer would be that he has to secure his EMT license by June. I think it was the 7th of June. Because that allows him to get through the class. It takes it takes 7 to 21 days. Once the class is over, it goes through the state system for them to apply to test for for their license. If he were to fail that, he gets 15 days from that date to reapply and take the test again. So right after that 15 days, so the 16th day, he could set for his test. So I gave that ability to take the time for the class to finish, to go through the process for the state of Michigan, for him to test. I'm hoping, and I hope that all of them would pass on their first try, but if he were to fail, it would give him one opportunity and to give him the time frame to do that in.
So in the meantime, what does his employment look like?
His employment would be, if we were to hire him, that he would be in training as a full-time member, going through that process and getting the experience and the upgraded knowledge of working once he completes that on his own. So he would be under, say, if I set him up with firefighter Mendika, he could do everything as an EMT under firefighter Mendika's license.
Abby and I just got off the phone probably with 20 minutes or a half hour ago with Lizzie and our legal.
Mhm.
And her recommendation was until they are licensed, thou shall not touch a patient.
See, that's,
We're doing legal and liability.
Right. We have a call out to our insurance
We
company
also
as
have
well,
call out to
and
insur-
we're looking into more with our legal. So as far as that offer goes, we still have some
Okay.
things that we need to look into.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't feel that that is an appropriate answer. Because you can work under the license of somebody else on scene. And that's a common practice across the nation.
Well, I'm
The,
just
the,
telling you what legal told us. And if
Okay,
we get
and
sued,
that's
just
fine.
defend us. So
Right?
she
No, I
said
get
the
that.
only thou shall not touch were her exact words.
Even in that,
Bandages.
yeah, even in that case, they could still be gaining the experience.
And there was some question about like, at what period, at what point in the EMT class do they get their BLS card?
I believe, well, we've already provided
they
that to
already-
them
Okay.
through the fire department.
I feel that we need to work out a few more details. Like when does his probation start? Does it start once he gets his EMT license, or does it start the day he gets hired? Because he's almost getting 4 or 5, maybe 6 months of free probation because he's working with somebody else.
I think it would be a better probationary period for any person coming on to get that experience under somebody so they can be evaluated properly. Otherwise, in a probationary period, I would only see them if I were to respond to a call where they would be seeing them on every call.
I just want to make a comment. I know one thing is, Wyatt has been very involved in the fire department. And, I get the whole learning curve of everything because I mean, I learn the best that way, like on the job training is how I learn better than reading manuals or books or whatever. But I do think he does bring forth knowledge of how the fire department works. I mean, how, I'm sure if you go somewhere else, it's going to be a little different than here. So that's a plus for him, is that he's coming in kind of knowing how things roll here.
Right.
And as long as we're covered, I guess, too, through our insurance and all of that.
Which we have not.
I mean, I agree with that, but I do think, we all have to learn. And if we have to as a township, because we don't have a million people out there knocking down our doors to come in that are ready to jump in, then we have to do these other things to accommodate, to build our fire department.
Right. And I think that would be a great opportunity also to take that time of, if we were to hire or bring on anybody in the paid on call arena that didn't have any training, what could they actually then do if we bring them on before they have training? So I'm all for making sure that we're following everything. But I just don't want to get things lost where, it may not be what is typically done in fire departments across the nation.
And I've noticed too that he's very it seems eager to volunteer and do things, like he
Mhm.
was at the, um,
Oh, yeah,
farmer's market,
yep.
helping out. He was here during the ice storm. I mean, it's like he's at a school doing, so it's like he's eager and he wants to be involved. And I think that's a great thing to bring.
No,
to
and
an
that's why I
employer.
want to take that chance on him because he is local. He's graduated from Alpena High School, has stayed in the community, and that's a resource that we could tap into because he's a recent, couple year graduate from the high school. We'd have to check
I'm
with
not
the
sure about
EMT
that.
class.
Not aware of any contract or agreement that we have with the EMT, whoever is sponsoring the EMT class, with the hospital, with the city. We would need to have some kind of an agreement with them, I believe,
Yeah.
for our insurance and for us to be covered to have him on those. So that is something that we're looking into. Like I said, we have phone calls out to the insurance carrier and to legal to try and kind of button up some loose ends that we have questions about, to make sure that we're doing things the way that we need to do them.
At this point right now, I mean, I think Wyatt will be a huge asset to our department.
Mhm.
I just don't think we have all of our ducks in a row yet to make him an offer, but I think we could by our end of January meeting. So I would like to make a motion right now to offer Dylan Romstad a full-time position on condition of passing the physical that he has to pass. And drug
The
screening.
medical, physical, and drug screen.
Yes.
You're not talking about Emily yet. What's the deal? Does she?
Well, do we have a motion on the table? What do you call it?
There's no
Point of
second.
order.
Point of order. I was gonna do it.
You're, yes. He's
So,
Sorry.
crazy.
yeah, to give you a little bit about Emily, Emily did very well. She proved to us that evaluated her in the physical that she'd be a great asset to the department. Her EMT license currently is in limbo. She needs to renew it. It's in the renewal phase, and she has to do a name change on it because it's not in the system for the state. So she's working on that.
That would happen before he would be done with his course, though, right?
Correct. If she follows through, and I've asked her to do so. What we were really looking for is to get two people in immediately. Don't know what her status would be for, how immediate that would be.
Does she live in this area?
No, she lives, Hubbard Lake area, I believe it was. So not too far. But that was gonna be a category where I also looked at, Wyatt's on the department. He has that experience. That's why he was chosen over Emily. With Emily, the potential would be to hire her part-time to help with some of the staffing and to train them up.
Well, you're gonna lose a third person by the end of the month, right?
Correct. And what I would like to do is do another hiring process on the 19th, take applications for 2 weeks because I already have 3 applicants that submitted their applications after this process. And one of them has some experience and some training that would be valuable to the department. So we don't want to spread it out too far, but we also want to do it in
So
a
you
quick
have enough
process.
people for these things.
Yes, yeah. Because then we've got to look at also, we've got notice from firefighter Hoskinson that he most likely will retire in July or August.
But wouldn't it still be to our benefit, even if we replaced 4 instead of 3 at this time, so that person could be more up to snuff by the time
Yes.
he would leave?
And my concept is to try to get people in place before we lose everybody, because it's going to be hard enough for 3 people to train a few people. Now, if we've got 4 new replacements and only 2 people to train them.
Yep.
Plus.
I'm sorry, I know we have a motion on the table, but I was gonna ask a question before you all jumped in there through that. So I hope I can ask this question just for my own clarification. Wyatt
Nobody supported it. It's just that-
has, this department is a BLS department,
No.
This department is a medical first responder.
medical first response, okay. Why did I think we were BLS?
We used to be.
Used to be.
Okay, well, then that throws some water on my questions then, because as a,
We want to
even
get
though
there.
he's had, even though he has certain training relative to BLS, he still doesn't meet the medical first responders then.
Correct.
And
No, that's a
so,
whole state li- It's a license
yeah,
in
yeah.
itself.
And so if he's on scene, there are certain things that he can do outside of medical intervention.
Well, currently, so if we're on a call for cardiac arrest,
Yeah,
he is able to do CPR because he is CPR trained.
okay, so
So where do we-
so there's certain things that tell me what he can and tell me where his skill level stops as far as the state is concerned.
As far as the state is concerned, it stops at whoever's the highest licensed person on scene. So if I'm on scene and I ask him to do something that's in his scope of practice, he can do that. And his scope of practice would be doing CPR, taking vital signs, those types of things, administrating oxygen, basically anything that I know that a medical first responder can do, I can have him do that under my license.
Sure
But
that-
if he,
but what if?
If it was under Ryan, it would be the same thing, because I'm not, my license allows me to do certain things with medications and starting IVs. Under Ryan's license, he could do everything that Ryan could do if Ryan asked him to do that.
What can he do?
What can he do?
That's a little confusing. Let's back up for a
Sure,
second.
sure.
So.
It is confusing.
So if you have the ability to do a pick line and you ask him to do that, then he can't do that.
He couldn't do any
You can't do that.
advanced life support things.
That's what I'm trying to get
But
at.
I could ask him to do splinting, bandaging, administrating oxygen, doing CPR, taking vital signs, assist moving the patient, all of those things he can do.
Because he's had some level of training or
Yes.
knowledge of that, and you as the person in charge on the scene know that his limitations are such.
Correct.
So what if somebody asked him to do something that was not within his training? Who has the responsibility to say, I'm not trained for that?
Both individuals would have that on them. Wyatt should, the person that's being asked should say, I am not trained to do that.
All
And
right,
the
so-
person that is asking them to do that, like I would not ask Ryan to do an IV.
Okay, so then that's where I think Lizzie probably comes into play, is that if something happens that it's outside of somebody's ability or authority, then that individual, Wyatt in this case, literally is on his own.
Correct.
Because it's not likely that the insurance company is going to give him a pass.
Correct.
If he's not, if he doesn't have the skill set to do it, he goes outside of Good Samaritan. I'm
Correct.
sure of that.
Yep.
And it's very likely that if somebody sued, that the township would be protected, but this applicant would not.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm pretty confident that would be the answer.
that is pretty much my interpretation of that process too, as being a licensed EMS professional. I worked on ambulances where my EMTs would do everything short of the skills that I needed to do. So they'd set up IV lines. But when it came to the actual setting the catheter in the person, I had to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And by this time, more than likely a paramedic is gonna probably be on scene.
More than likely, yes.
That was the other thing I was gonna add, and that's more of a incident command issue, but if we're on the scene first, we're in command, what point do you transfer that over to the city or do you?
On EMS calls, whenever they arrive,
There it is.
we give them the patient information, and transfer of care is given to those the medics on the ambulance. We don't ever change. We're always in charge of the scene. It's just the patient care is given to them.
But if you're in the process of CPR, I
Mhm.
want you to step back in, you know, as they take over and then you step back in to help. Who's in control of them?
They're in control of the patient care.
Okay. So when the patient is moved or is not moved, that's their decision.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's what in our reports, you know, there's a section that says when is patient care transferred, and there's a time block for that. And we can timestamp that. And that's what we're working on to make sure that happens.
So we have a motion on the table, to offer Dylan Ronstadt a conditional offer based on,
Passing his medical,
Medical, physical,
physical,
and
and
drug-
drug screening.
I'll support that.
is there any other discussion?
How soon can he start?
I will call him today. I would like to do it at the beginning of the pay period, which is the 19th. That way it gets on that cycle. If not, I would ask him then when could he, because then we want to try to get it as soon as we could.
Which station does that matter right now?
So I think in a previous board packet, I put in a packet for training. And the first 2 weeks, they'd be on a 40-hour week to go through the benefits programs to make sure that they can get into to do their physical, all that kind of stuff first, yeah.
Please do a roll call, please.
Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yes. Motion carried.
Part of me that feels as though with Wyatt, with controls, that he would be an asset just from having him on scene, having him just part of the team. Whereas I can appreciate our lawyers' position, and whereas I can completely understand the insurance company's position, there is a risk with him for his own
Mhm.
legal liability, which I would think that he would completely wish to understand that, so that he didn't put himself in legal harm's way. And so I'm wondering how we could bring this person on with the clear understanding that he can't work outside of his abilities.
So that's part of the conversation that Michelle and I have had with Lizzie this morning. We're working on trying to figure those things out. I can't say that I disagree with you, but we want to make sure that we do it the right way.
Yeah, no, I'm certainly with you there.
And we've currently given Lizzie the conditional letter that you wrote, and she's gonna go through it and make her suggestions of what would tighten it up and make things clearer before we move ahead.
So
And
he's-
she also suggested before we do anything, talking to our insurance
Yeah.
agent,
I-
which
I'm-
we have a call. We're kind of playing phone tag with him right now.
I'm pretty confident of what I said. But what is he doing now? If he's
He's-
on scene?
He's responding to calls as he is an EMT student. He is working under the license of our full-time staff that are on scene.
He never gets to a scene.
He doesn't get there first, so that was a stipulation that we've talked to him about. That because he is not licensed, he cannot make patient contact prior to one of the full-time staff or a licensed EMS professional on our department or the city arrives.
All right, so then that just prompts the next question for me. Let's assume for the sake of argument now that he is a full-time employee and not paid on call. And an alarm goes off. And we know in advance that it's a medical situation. What happens right then?
He's gonna sit at the end of the driveway until the other.
No.
guy comes.
No, he will be with another full-time
He'll be with
person.
the guy,
All
he'll
right,
not
so
be the guy in his
Can,
case.
can,
Correct.
can we?
He will not be alone.
But what if there's a situation that he is alone? Would that happen?
No.
Okay, all right.
I'll second your motion if you make it.
So basically what we're saying is if that were to occur, there'll be a station that's double covered. So there would be two people at that station.
I'm just wondering why we can't look at other possibilities until he gets his EMT, like having him work some shifts as a paid on call, not 24-hour shifts, but being there with another firefighter to get the training
Mhm.
so that instead of having, we don't know if he's going, I think why it's gonna pass.
Well,
But-
that gives us the incentive to make sure
But like, I have
that he
questions on
does.
if he doesn't pass it on his first try, who pays for the second try? Is that on us or is that on him?
It would be on him.
Okay, but we need that clarified
Sure.
in the agreement.
Yep.
So why couldn't we pay him to do these shifts? Oh, Norm's here. As a paid on call and work, I don't know, so many 10-hour shifts or whatever, and get that experience and still not having to pay all the benefits till we know that we fully have a full-time employee. Otherwise, we could be paying 6 months of full-time benefits.
Without having a full-time person.
And, right,
I got you.
Yeah,
because we have had it happen in the past where someone was hired conditionally on getting their EMT and then they didn't pass it. I don't think that's going to be the case at all with Wyatt, but we have been through that, so I've got to think of all these different
Right.
scenarios.
oh yeah, there's pros and cons to it all.
Right,
And that's the thing is I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing.
I do
Um,
too.
and
I'm
I'm
not saying
fine
we've
with
got the
that.
Right idea or that anybody's wrong.
But a
I
different
just want
idea.
I
doesn't
want us
hurt
to
think
look
about.
to explore every,
The
avenue.
biggest thing is we can't have this continue on a process of phone tag that takes months.
Oh,
right, right.
And because
Right, I think
we're
we
gonna
should
be
have
hurting
a decision by the end.
very, very soon
Are there
with the staffing that we have.
This tests?
Yeah, we'll set him up with everything. I've given one to Ryan from a person that I know that teaches EMT course for a practice test. I gave it to Ryan. He gave it to Wyatt already. Wyatt is doing the things that he needs to do right now. He's working shifts when Kevin Galloway is working to cover some of the shifts. He'll ride with them. And he's doing it he's hanging out with Kevin, but
believe it.
I'm trying to figure out a way that I could sort of blend the clerk's concerns with your concerns of getting someone on staff. But at the same token, as Michelle has said, we expend a lot of expenses
Mhm.
on betting on the hope that this will take place. So I'm
And we're, sorry for my interruption, but we're gonna have to really look at that. Because of the way that our pay scale is, we could hire Dylan. And in 3 months, he could go somewhere else and get another job that pays at a higher rate. So that's why we've got to take into all those considerations. And I think making sure that we do this right by Wyatt is very important. Maybe we can do some of the things that would take place, like his physical and some of the other things now. to be then ahead of the game and have him work some of those shifts and get that experience back. Because in my eyes, the way I saw it was because he has that experience, once we get through the training stage, which is about a 5-week process, even when we bring on Dylan, that to see how they did in that process, that Wyatt and Dylan would stay together because Wyatt's got that experience on the fire side. Dylan has it on the EMS side. They could work together to make a station and be very functionable.
Michelle, what are the number of hours that a person has to work before benefits are?
They have to work 12 weeks of 30 hours or more, 12 consecutive weeks with 30 hours or more.
12?
3 months, right?
Yeah.
So within that 3-month period, we would know a lot.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know how I would have worded this, motion.
Right, I feel like we're just not quite there to make an offer and have all our details and everything in a row.
Will we be by the 26th?
We
I
need a
think-
response from the insurance agent first, and we need a more clarified response from legal before we can
Agreed.
make a sound offer. And
Well-
we will have that by the end of the month regardless. They're both working on it, but to make an offer and not know if we can hold up our end of the deal, I don't think is a good
Isn't fair to
decision.
either
Well,
side.
maybe the best thing to do then right now is to make a motion that we table any decision with Wyatt until the end of the month, until our next meeting where we should have
Which is,
all of the appropriate information at
Right.
that,
Is he
at
really
that
good
time.
on
Just bring it back.
Basically.
He
Do-
currently is laid off from the company that he was working for. He does paid on call for us and Wilson Township.
yeah, and I think if anybody's met Wyatt, he's just a good person and
Mhm.
hard worker and would definitely be an asset. Do we need a motion to
Well, I-
table it
Well,
or do we
I
just?
guess if we got the information that we were searching for or that we can confirm, could we make a motion contingent upon?
There you go.
So that we don't have to wait so long, because it's the 7th now, and our next meeting is what, the 26th or something like that?
Yeah, because like I said, my original thought would be that their start date would be the 19th.
But yeah, my only concern is that I'm pretty confident I know what the insurance carrier will say, that the township is protected against those situations that are within its license. And if a person is acting outside of the scope of their duties, then there wouldn't be any coverage.
Correct.
I've read it 1,000 times. And so, so we know what, that's how the insurance company is going to come back. And they're not likely to draft some special language, for one particular person. So, so that's what we're going to find out by the end of the month. So then, so therefore I still having a little trouble wrapping my head around the idea that if somebody is acting within the scope of their duties, then they're protected. If somebody isn't acting within the scope of their duties, they're not. And so whomever that person is, they would have to recognize that they are, they're on a thin legal line. So I'm not so, I don't know where that puts us, today or 20 days from now.
Mhm.
But if he shows up on scene right now, which he does,
Mhm.
right? And I mean, other paid on calls are there. I mean, doesn't he still act in that same capacity as
Yes.
he would if he were gonna?
Yes,
So he's still gonna do the same thing.
correct.
And then that's where I'm struggling, because I would hope that person or anyone in that position would know the line that they can go to. And I
And-
suspect they do.
And I think I know where you're kind of headed with this is we want to make sure everything is copacetic with insurance legal. I think what you would like to maybe do is, once we know that information, let's hire him right then. Is that what is that how I'm taking what you're saying?
Well,
Instead of waiting until the
Well-
26th
well, yeah,
for the next one.
but my only caveat is that I'm pretty sure that that's what the answer is gonna be.
But what if? it's
But we
not?
need,
and
we
so-
really need to get that particular
And
information.
so then therefore that person would have to understand if the results come back the way I think that they'll come back, that there's only so much that person can do within their duties.
Right.
And that's the important part.
You gotta go.
No,
So yeah, I would like to be able to make a motion. I'm not sure how to make it, that contingent upon the response from the insurance carrier and legal, that we
Make the same kind of. offer.
that we hire Wyatt to act within the scope of his duties until such time as he is fully licensed.
I guess I don't know how that translates
I don't know.
into legal telling us he's not licensed, he shouldn't touch.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's all they're saying, is that they shouldn't touch, but that doesn't mean that he can't be doing other things that
He'd still
that
be
he's
a
capable of
firefighter.
doing.
Right, I get, but he can't touch the patient.
Well,
What-
but he can do CPR. He's trained in CPR, right? And he's trained in all the other things. And as long as he's acting within, I think if you asked her to refine that a little bit.
I'll throw it back at her.
Yeah, because I think if you go back and say, he,
and I think
He's
the
got-
key part here is that he's not alone. That he is with someone,
Always.
another
another licensed medical professional of this department.
yeah, and I think if you draft, or if you ask the same question the same way to both our legal department as well as the insurance provider, under those conditions, I think that they would still say anything that person does that is above that duty that they have, or that license that they have, or abilities that they have, is not a gray area. It's void of coverage.
So what I want to find out is if someone who is not licensed, but with a licensed medical in EMT school and CPR certified,
Mhm.
what they are able to do.
Yep, in fact, perhaps Chief can provide you with those things that Wyatt can do within that are within his duties. And I think that you'd find that might tweak the answer a little bit. Because if it's just a broad-based question, then I can appreciate, wow.
Right, they're gonna give you the most conservative.
of course.
That's what we're trained to do.
Would we want to see if she's available right now, and just, if she is, and she's had a chance to read that over? Or is that too much pressure?
Yeah, I don't think it's the hour she's gonna be able to have done the research she wanted to. She wanted to look at our job descriptions and all that stuff. I mean,
I
Yeah.
just thought.
what do you think, Abby? I
No,
don't.
I don't think that, I think that we're jumping the gun and we need to pump the brakes. Get our answers that we need to get. And, I mean, if you wanna,
If you need another.
I
meeting
understand
by
what
the
you're saying,
19th,
Steve,
but-
and trying to expedite the process in the best way that we can.
Right.
But I don't wanna put the cart before the horse here, because
No, I
how do
don't
you
either.
make someone a conditional offer saying it's conditional on these conditions before you can get your conditional offer that's also conditional on these other conditions?
Now we're getting mucky.
You know what I'm saying? Right, there's a lot of
No,
conditions there where we can just have a clear answer. And
We'll
I
call
mean-
another special meeting if you need to. I'd like to see it done by the 19th.
Yeah, I mean, so would I. I would like to get this.
I would
I
too.
hate to lose opportunities.
Because, and this could, like I said, this could really reflect on as we move forward. Because I've said in the past that having one person at a station is not safe.
Right.
So this is the time to really start thinking of what kind of fire department does the board and the township want
We don't have.
and
the
how to
income
staff
to
of it.
make Too.
What's that?
We don't have the income to make it two. Cause now you're talking.
I understand that, but
About
we've got to
400
start
people.
thinking about that. And how that will happen and what kind of services that you provide.
Then Michael, we just don't, and I don't think the millage request you're talking about is even big enough to get there. But whatever.
All right, so I guess we just hold off till we get some refined questions answered. And hopefully we can either have a special meeting or we can just wait till the next meeting. I suppose a week probably doesn't make a big difference if the attorney and insurance take a few days to get back to us. We're already into next week.
So the biggest thing I think with Wyatt is that he's available.
Right. No,
And right now I think he would not hesitate at an offer whenever it's offered.
fair enough.
And in the meantime. he
And
can
in the
continue
meantime,
to-
he still continues to do what he does. I will reach out to Dylan as soon as I get back to my office and make the call to see if he is available to start on the 19th.
So we normally do their physical before they start. So we'd have to get that scheduled and everything before.
Okay.
I have a question. Are we still considering Emily in the next round type of thing?
She's still so the next round for hiring, yes.
And then at that time, you'll know more of where she's at with her renewing of
That's
her.
my hope.
And you also have.
I'll have more
candidates.
opportunities for more applicants as well.
And you would do that next round of interviews around when?
I was hoping around the 19th as well,
Oh, okay.
to start that process. Or sometime before the end of January. Because again, we've got to look at, once it's posted, 2 weeks from, it still is posted, but I'd like to start that time frame when we say that. Go 2 weeks, accept applications, to put out to any word that we can, to any of the other area departments. Maybe there was somebody that got lost in the mix, that didn't submit an application and maybe didn't think we were hiring. So we want to make sure that, no, this is real, that we are needing people. And then because it will take a good 5 weeks to get them prepared.
I think we're on a good track.
But just looking at the part, going back to your comment about needing 2 people on call at each station, or on duty at each station. We're still a farm town. And so, I mean, it's not just getting more people, because we're gonna continue to have this problem until we get our pay rate up high
Mhm.
to keep. So it's 2 things possible. It's not just adding 2 staff or 4 staff instead of 2 staff.
Correct.
It's also paying them to be appropriately paid.
And that we did a significant adjustment with this new contract. Getting what was it, 18% and 15% in the first year, and 3 in the next 2 or 4 and 3 or
it's 4
something
in
like
the
that.
next
I
year.
forget off the top of my head. So it's getting there. I came from a place like that. We were the farm team for a big city. They hired 12 people, full-time to staff this township department. The city of Lansing hired and they took 7 of the 12. So, but what they got were highly trained individuals that went right to work. And that's, if we're going to be seen as a farm club, I'd rather be seen as the best farm club. So people know that what they're getting is highly,
Top notch.
top-notch individual.
No problem with that. I mean, that goes without saying, but
And I understand I get it, because there's a cost to train and to hire. And the good thing is we're trying to keep the cost down in the hiring process. That's why we're doing a lot of the internal stuff.
Okay. then I'm holding back until we hear from what, the revised questions are. So
Okay.
no
Okay.
further questions from me.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Steve.
you, chief.
My hope is the supervisor will call us back for another meeting. Get that information back before the.
Today, right?
Do it too. It only takes either two trustees can call
Oh,
special
I
meeting at any time too.
Now that I know that.
It's not all
No,
on her.
we're gonna have one day after tomorrow.
You can call Steve and say, hey, we're having board meeting.
Steve, you want to call a special meeting? This is the second opportunity for public comment. If there's anybody online with public comment, please raise your hand. Seeing none, if there's anybody in the audience with public comment, please approach podium. Also seeing none. Is there any other discussion? Oh, I do have something, sorry. As you guys.
Tomorrow,
know-
another hearing?
Yes. Status conference. And as you guys know, we've been working with the city doing some mediation, some negotiation stuff. And we did have a request for proposal for the water model development and assessment. We have created that, sent it to the city for their review. They've sent it back to us. And we've finalized it with our attorneys and internally, and we're gonna submit that to the city. So they will be receiving that today as well. And we have status conference tomorrow, so hopefully I've got good news for the next board meeting.
What time is the status conference?
I believe 3
PM.
Is it 3 or 3:15?
I got 3 PM, so that's gotta be what it is.
Yeah, we
Oh,
all know your calendar.
pull your calendar, Steve.
It may start at 3:15, but better be early.
I've got 3 o'clock as
Their-
well,
their
so yeah,
time
3 o'clock.
Steve,
That's right.
So I have that RFP if anybody wanted to take a look at it, but otherwise, that's all I have for you. Any other discussion? Their motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Report.
All those in favor of adjourning at 2:21, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Meeting adjourned at 2:21.